Alright, welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, Target Experience. So like I said, look, you guys see us outside. From the time you guys heard the fire trucks in the previous video, it's approximately, 10 minutes? So, it's raining. See, sticking her fingers in her ears. So I start pulling on my ears too. So Pam came home and, started doing the whole perp thing, sticking her tongue out at me. I was like, oh, them let's see when they monitor you through the microchip, and so being that they think it's, hey, his defense mechanism is subdued, he's not, he's more relaxed, right? Because she called me earlier, very cordial, had a good conversation. So she came in feeling herself, right? Because prior to coming in, they were engaging in a noise campaign with the police sirens, again, trying to target me, right? So she came in feeling herself, like I said, will stand up in front of me and start doing these hand signals, and then sticking her tongue out at me and turning around, turning her back towards me. I'm just like, hey, okay, been through this many times. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. And so, again, feeling herself. Apparently, maybe she thought I was gonna stay, but nope. No, thank you. Okay, you're yawning back too. All right. Yeah, somebody left their blinkers on. I think I tell you, when they start targeting you, they do stuff like this. Okay? They'll leave their car and leave their blinkers on. Anyhow. So yeah, like I said, she was feeling herself. They got her feeling herself. Yeah, she can feel herself all she wants. Right? And then again, newer monitoring, BCI, anything, certain words being said, then hijacking my daughter's mind. So I shut that down. And when I shut that down, they came back out with the sirens, right? Except wasn't at first it was police, because they did it twice, and I recognized what was happening. The first time they used the police, and then the second time, because this is what she started. This is what my daughter would do whenever they hijack her mind. Okay, she would take her pinky finger and put it underneath my hands, my hands, right? And what else? Yes, and then she would take her feet and rest it on top of my feet, and she would just come sit down next to me and just do that automatically. Yeah, or she will start grabbing my elbows, or my elbow, I should say. And like I said, I recognized what she was doing. I smacked in her hands and I said, don't do that, stop doing it. I keep telling you, stop doing that. I said, always be mindful of these things. I've told you before, but she can't help it, So I just gave her a little smack in her hands just to let her know that, not to do it. And so when I did that, they started with the police. And the second time, we were playing some Uno, and she was like, oh, I'm going to get revenge on you, and I'm going to do this to you. And I'm like, huh? So I said, hey, cut that out, right? And then within like the space of 2 minutes, they brought out their fire trucks, And like I said, I shut that shit down real fast. Why? Because I understand when her consciousness is being hijacked with the technology, silent sound, like I said, you don't know, because if you're unaware of these things, you have no idea, you have no clue, right? So I know within my targeting, certain things that they try to do, certain that they try to insinuate, this is how I recognize that. Oh, also, my son. So my son was playing his computer and I went to talk to him, right? All of a sudden he grabs, started doing the hand behind the head thing, and literally, I'm standing, right next to him now. He's sitting down, and I'm talking to him. He puts his hands behind his head, and then he does this, right? He does this, the peace sign. And so, I said to him, I said, why you do that? I said, every time I come over here, I talk to you, you got to be all animated. I said, don't do that. You're playing your game. You have your hands on your keyboard. Don't stop playing because I'm here, right? But again, this is the hijacking of his conscious mind. And so after that also, they brought up the police using the fire trucks, right? So understand, if you're a TI, when people around you, they're being influenced. But there are ways to tell if people are actually, they know what's going on and they purposely engage in such tactics. And I'll give you guys an example. As I went into the kitchen, Pam was in the kitchen, and whenever she uses roach spray, she's like almost used like a quarter of the can just to kill one little roach. So I walk into the kitchen and I'm smelling the roach spray. I was like, why in here smell like this? And I said, why do you keep emptying out the damn can of roach spray just to kill one little roach? And this was a fly. I said, and then on the floor you just leave it. You don't even clean it up. You don't wipe up the roach spray. You just leave it. I said, and the kids come in the kitchen without any shoes on. I said to her, you need to get a wet tissue or a wet cloth and wipe it up. Don't just do that. And you're using too much of this stuff. And I'm constantly fighting because she don't understand that's poison. That is poison. And I said to her, as much as you have health problem, asthma, the stuff that you do, it just boggles my mind, and you don't learn. And I try to tell you, but you don't want to listen. I said, like, yeah, that's fine. I said, but don't if the kids are sick because of some nonsense that you're getting on with, which I told you not to do, and you still do it, now the kids are sick because of it, then you're not going to like what I have to say. Because I will become very angry at you. And so, she eventually got this, she got a cloth and it's funny, it was a blue cloth, and it's a blue cloth, and she held it up in front of me, and then she take her thumb and press it against the cloth deliberately, like she's holding the cloth up both hands, and taking her thumb and pressing it in the cloth so I could see, the press, of the cloth. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, okay, So whenever I gotta wipe up something with a cloth, anything like that, I'll do the same thing back to her. Because whenever they use new tactics and new techniques, I do it back to them. So for example, when I get on the bus, they always what they'll do. They recently started doing is started looking at the empty seats, right? So the seats on the bus are blue and gray. So they'll walk past me. There's an empty seat. They'll look. They won't even sit down now. They will just look. Or if there's you can tell that it's done deliberately. I can tell anyway because the amount of times people do it. And so I started doing the same thing back to them. This is when they start staring at my head, top of my head. I start staring on top of their head. So if I'm sitting down and somebody's sitting next to me and they're constantly looking at my head, looking up at my head, I turn around and I look at their head, right? And I keep, like I said, whatever tactic they use, I will use it back against them because that's what you got to do as a TI. Because you got to let them understand and let them know that you're aware of what it is that they're doing and you're not allowed them to get away with it. Okay? So use the very same tactics back at them. Like I said, you have to, treat them the way they treat you. Now, they love to use the flashlight of their phone, so she's walking around using her flashlight. Anyhow, I'm recording, so I can't even use my flashlight. But I just stick my hands out. All right. Like I said, I'm going to allow them to get away with what it is that they're doing. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Ooh, that's a Jeep. Yeah, so look, yeah, my predator department blocked down with their lights flashing. Look at them. Oh, let me. You guys can't see. You can see the reflections off of the vehicles. Yeah, they're down there. There you go. See the lights flashing down there? Yeah. Bunch of cowards. That's right. I call them a bunch of cowards. And I will continue to call those that who are within the NYPD, their predator department, who target black men in particular, the racist white cops and the racist Sambos on the police department, and the Sambinas. Okay, these are the female Sambos. Right? So I will, like I said, I don't respect police officers who violate their oath of office, who engage in set-up frame-ups in illegal activity against the citizens, and particularly against black people, right? Because like I said, they don't respect us as a people, and I am not going to respect them. See, when they want to send their subliminal message about respecting police officers, remember, they disrespected me first. They disrespect black people. We go about our own business, and they will violate our rights, and that's disrespectful. So don't come with me about being disrespectful to police officer. Okay, if you come to me in a respectful way, you're going to get treated in a respectful way. I've never been disrespectful to police officers who pull me over, who, particularly if I'm driving, if I commit a driving offense, or even if, they pull over my license plate or have you, and, just to check, right? I always ask them, I say, why do you pull me over? I always question them. But I've always given them my ID, okay? But I always let them know that, hey, you're racially profiled. Of course, they always deny it, but we know the truth, right? We know the reality, see? And again, their mindset and how they're being conditioned in the police academy is to ignore the laws to protect us as civilians. They constantly violate their oath of office. And again, that's disrespectful to the citizens, particularly as black people. They have always disrespected us in some of the worst ways, okay? Just remember, like I said, I don't just talk just to talk. Go and look up the lawsuit in which the NYPD had to settle within the past decade, and you will see, right? When they had the protest, Black Lives Matter protests, and what they were doing to protesters, basically treating them as cattle, using cattle ranching techniques on people, bunching everybody up in one area and then assaulting them, pepper spraying them. That's disrespectful. And so you think that you're going to join in with these criminals to do all of this, and you think that that somehow they're respecting you? Like, come on. They're just showing me how much control they have over you, and you just showing me how much of dumbasses you are for participating in it. Okay? And there you go. I love my people, though.
Yo, dude, stop telling me about the 6-year-old girl you fucking. You're like 16.
Anyhow, I tell you, these kids today. All right. All right. So as I was saying, so you can't tell me about respecting the police. Okay. I respect the good officers. All right. But we know, and again, the reality, not some fantasy, not by what they say about the majority of cops are good. No, we know that's not true. Okay, we know that's not true because we see what happens to the good cops. The good cops don't get, I shouldn't say don't get accommodations. They will get accommodations. I posted a video on Facebook of a police officer basically risking his life to save a young boy who was being electrocuted. Like I said, I always give those police officers, they are heroes, but there are very few of them. There are very few of them, and so, like I said, you have to paint police departments with a broad brush because the majority, But I always acknowledge that there are good cops within those departments, even though they are few. And yeah, talk to you guys in the next video.